Hi, my name is Austin Edwards, and I'll be conducting this interview.
I'm Anna Velasquez. I'm a cinema studies senior, and I'm here to talk about my online friendships.
Can you give us a brief overview of your experiences making friends online and meeting them in real life?
Starting in like 2011, I made a Tumblr for the first time. And so I started meeting a lot of people with similar interests as I have. And kind of by chance, like they would come visit New York on vacation and I would be able to start meeting them. And eventually I started developing like really close, like intimate friendships with some of these people, to the point where I've like traveled like outside of the country with these friends of mine.
Okay. So, what interests do you and your friends share?
At first it was like TV shows. It was like bad anime. And then from there, like we would kind of like leave those interests behind, but like keep in touch. And so we would start enjoying like the same video games as each other or like music. A lot of my friends are like musicians or writers or like artists. So they'll like go to conventions to like sell their art and things like that. And that's another way that we got to meet up. I remember like the first time I met one of my friends from Philadelphia, I was like in a cold sweat. I was so nervous for no reason. I think because you kind of wonder about the way you project yourself online versus how you are in real life. But after like the first few friends I met, it became like very like easy and very natural, and I wasn't nervous about it. I'm not nervous about it anymore. Like if there's a chance to meet somebody for the first time. But definitely the first few times, like it's a little nerve-wracking.
Okay. What other countries have you been to?
To see a friend?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to Wales to meet like one of my closest, well, not to meet them. They came to the US first for like an exchange program. And when they went back home to Wales, I went to visit them. And then we like went on a trip to London. With that same friend, I've gone to New Orleans, I've gone to Philadelphia, I've gone to Miami. I've been to Morocco to visit people.
After meeting a person that you've met online, how does your opinion on those people change after meeting them?
I don't know if my opinion changes. Sometimes I can like see parts of their personality that they might be shy about in person. I'll realize that they're more open about it online. Or, you know, it's like very fun to see people's mannerisms and quirks in person. I think if anything, meeting someone in person just endears me to them even more.
There's a large consensus that meeting people online can sometimes be both mysterious and potentially dangerous. How have you developed ways to trust new people online and break that barrier to feel more comfortable when meeting them?
I never actively took steps just because I kind of went with what I felt was common sense. I've never felt a desire to meet somebody who's faceless online or who would like refuse something like a Skype call or like texting or a phone call. If somebody like refuses to let me know what they look like, there's no way I would ever go to meet them in person. And usually the friends I make through other friends. So it's like a pretty tight-knit social circle, or at least a couple social circles. So I also go if I know they've met other friends of mine in person, or if like we all like have this feeling that we trust this person.
How do you feel about your generation's level of comfort with online relationships?
I find it interesting. I kind of worry for some people, maybe not even so much my generation, but kids a little bit younger, because I know when I was a kid, there was like a lot of that feeling of like online stranger danger and like parents wouldn't want you talking to strangers online. And now I think the opposite has happened where like people feel very comfortable with it. And I think people should be a little bit more careful and at least use like a good amount of common sense when like befriending people or like being emotionally open with them or even just agreeing to hang out in person.
Do you feel like there's any potential red flags that a person should look out for when talking to a person online?
Yeah, I think you have to be kind of wary of people who might want to get too close too fast, like even just as a friend, who might want too much personal information about you. Somebody who like tries to insert themselves into your circle or like separate you from your other friends is definitely something to look out for. And again, like definitely be careful about trying to meet up with somebody who makes up excuses about why like they can't talk with their voice or like show you a photo of themselves, or maybe is inconsistent even talking about like where they go to school or how old they are. That's just like not a risk that's worth taking.
So have any of these red flags happened to you before?
Not to me personally, but to people I know, like to my own friends or you know, like everyone kind of hears horror stories about catfishing. I've had friends who like had people they were close to who would then like after a while reveal that they lied about how old they were. They're like not 18, they're actually 16, which is kind of an odd age gap to have in a friendship, especially if you're like over 18 and talking about adult things with somebody you didn't know was a child. But that's luckily never happened to me.
All right. Well, it was nice talking to you.
Thank you. It was nice talking to you too.